Mark Vientos goes down with injury, opening up the opportunity for Ronny Mauricio to get the call up. We're going to break down both the Vientos injury and the Mauricio call up news that just came out in the last half an hour or so, and let us know what you think down in the comments below. Is this going to be something that is going to work out well for the Mets or not? We're going to go ahead and hop right in just a second. I want to just let you know that this particular time is brought to you by our patrons. Our patrons are absolute awesome. They support this channel. They allow me to bring you this news and help me not to have to do other work things. So if you want to join the Patreon, help us bring more and better content to you, you get early access to some of our things like the Scroll of Wisdom, our power rankings each week, and our 3 up, 3 down teams that are slumping and surging, as well as other long form videos. So you can do that. The link for that is going to be on the screen. It's also going to be down in the comments below, patreon.com/MetropoliFins. All right, so we're going to go ahead and hop right into this. First, we're going to break down the Vientos injury, so you have that news. Of course, we're still really early. We're going to figure out here what exactly is going on. There's going to be more testing undergone, but it does sound like Vientos is going to be out for a while. It's going to be multiple days. We're going to go ahead and bring that on the screen for you here. It didn't look good. Vientos hamstring injury could lead to a long absence for the Mets. This is an article from Anthony DiComo from MLB.com. Amid the late dramatics of the 4-3 10-inning win over the Dodgers on Monday, the Mets may have lost a key offensive piece for the foreseeable future. Designated hitter Mark Vientos injured his hamstring running to first base in the top of the 10th inning. The Mets sent Vientos immediately for testing, but were unaware of the results as of late Monday evening. Asked how serious the injury might be, and emotional Vientos replied, "I'm not sure," saying he would address the matter further on Tuesday afternoon. It didn't look good. Manager Carlos Mendoza said he's going through all the testing, and we've got to wait and see. Batting with 2 men on in the 10th, Vientos hit a ground ball to the left side, began sprinting towards first in an effort to beat it out. Let me see if this will actually show. Here it is. Here's the play showing for you in case you didn't get to see it. You'll just notice, like, Vientos is not even in the screen. That's because he had some sort of hamstring, something or other that happened there. All right. Scrolling a little bit further, a breakout player for the Mets last year, Vientos had 27 home runs and 838 OPS in 111 games. We struggled to replicate this success this season, and I mentioned that a lot in preseason. People were not believing me. And I said, I'm just kind of a firm believer in the sophomore slump. It doesn't mean a player is a bad player. There are a few great players that can occasionally overcome it, but when there's just so much more film out on Vientos, it definitely makes a big difference. So that's the first part. We are certainly wishing a speedy recovery to Vientos. We don't wish injury on anybody, and it's kind of a bummer, of course, that is exactly what has happened here. That being said, this does open up an opportunity, and in sports, and I think especially in baseball, there's always kind of the next man standing. And so this report came out, what does it say, 23 minutes ago, probably about a half an hour ago, something like that. Mets to call up Ronny Mauricio. So when we were covering this game live last night, we were probably instantly speculating that if it truly was a hamstring injury, those tend to be 6 to 8 weeks, and that this opened up the door for Mauricio. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Ronny Mauricio, he was up with the Mets. He got injured and missed basically all of last year, and he's been back working his way back up through the system. He is the Mets' number 9 prospect. We're going to read more about him. But just in his first 9 games at AAA Syracuse, he's been hitting .515. Absolute video game numbers going on. So this article here is from Jason Foster, also from MLB.com. The Mets are set to recall the versatile Ronny Mauricio, their number 9 prospect per MLB Pipeline, according to a report from Joel Sherman. The team has not confirmed the news. The move comes after third baseman Mark Vientos injured his right hamstring Monday in their 4-3 win over the Dodgers in Los Angeles. Mauricio will reportedly join the first place Mets on Tuesday night for the second game of the series. Mauricio, 24, has been rehabbing a torn right ACL suffered in winter ball in February 2024. So again, you're talking, his last games would have been like September of 2023. That was the last time that he was playing games with the Mets in the majors and he was looking great, by the way, in winter ball that whole 2024. And now the rehab, and he looks like to have picked up right where he's left off. Of course, well, it remains to be seen if that will transition back to the major league level. So he appeared in 26 games with the Mets, hit 248 with 2 home runs and 643 OPS and 108 plate appearances. So again, there's lots of hype about Mauricio. However, he's still essentially a rookie, right? I mean, he still qualifies as a prospect. He's still a rookie. So I do want Mets fans to kind of temper the expectations. He's not going to come in and be the savior. Hopefully he will have good games here and there. But this team also doesn't need a savior. This team is a very solid team. He's appeared in 19 rehab games across 3 minor league levels this season, compiling a 323 average, 892 OPS overall. 9 games in AAA Syracuse, Mauricio has hit .515 with 3 homers and a 1382 OPS, signaling the rehab process is complete and he's ready to return to the bigs. Mauricio also offers defensive versatility because he can play multiple infield spots, has also spent time in left field. So during his 2023 stint with the Mets, he played mostly second base, but also spent time at third, 5 games in short, 2 games. This season, he has played third base and second base. So that is the breakdown. Ronny Mauricio is going to make the Mets a scary team. Yeah, perhaps, Redman. Perhaps that is exactly what is going to happen. I would caution Mets fans to not just project all this stuff that Ronny Mauricio is going to be this amazing player. It's amazing how just a little bit of time and everybody forgets, like, okay, yeah, like when he was up in the majors, he did fine. But again, 26 games, he had 248 in 26 games with 2 home runs and a 643 OPS. Those are fine numbers. Those are good numbers, but they're not great numbers, amazing numbers. They're not Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani numbers. So I would definitely encourage Mets fans to just temper the expectations, and hopefully Mauricio will come up with this good lineup around him and stop stressing. A couple other Mets notes that I don't have particular articles on. Well, one more. We can show one more. I can go back to, if we scroll down a little bit, if you didn't catch the game last night, Blackburn was impressive in season debut as the Mets beat Dodgers in 10 innings. Blackburn deserved the win last night, of course, due to the way baseball scoring works. He doesn't get it. But over the last 13 months, Paul Blackburn's list of maladies have included stress reaction on the 5th metatarsal of his right foot, a badly bruised pitching hand stemming from a comeback that struck him on the mound, a cerebrospinal fluid leak necessitating a series of platelet-rich plasma injections, a blood patch procedure, and eventually surgery, an inflamed right knee, and for good measure, the flu. There's a lot of uncertainty about how I was going to come back from it, or if I ever was going to come back from it, Blackburn said. So I just think being able to step foot on a big league mound again, enjoy the energy, enjoy the game, playing like the best, like there's nothing better than that. And if you watched the game last night, here's a replay. This is his first strikeout. And he actually got Ohtani to strike out twice last night, and really had some filthy stuff on the mound. And so that was a great performance there. Raul, let's go Mets, baby. World champs 2025. Yes. So for those of you just catching up, Mark Vientos got hurt. Looks like a hamstring. Looks like he's going to be out for a while. You know, generally hamstrings are going to be 6 to 8 weeks. They are one of those injuries you do not want to rush back from, because it is very easy to re-aggravate if it is not fully healed. And so you can be like 95% and just damage your hamstring again. So, but yeah, it's so this is the opportunity for Ronny Mauricio to get called back up. That is what the news is. It has not been officially reported by the Mets, but all the insiders are saying that this is what it is. So let me know down in the comments below whether you're watching live or on replay. Of course, hit that like, hit that subscribe. We're on our way to 500 subscribers, and we absolutely would appreciate your help in reaching that milestone. We're trying to get to 500 by the All-Star break. But let me know, what do you think? What is your, where's the playing time going here? Because now you're bringing up another second baseman when it already feels like Luis Angel Acuna is not getting the playing time that a lot of us would like to see him get. Is this going to lead to more DHing for Starling Marte? Is Jared Young going to be positioned to stay on this club a little while longer, because he's been kind of taking over the DHing duties from Vientos? I'm not an overall fan of the Mendoza kind of hot potato, merry-go-round of players and positions. I'd much prefer to have kind of a set starting 7 or 8 that are in there most every game. But again, I am not the Mets manager. And I'm just sitting here. I'm just a random guy on the internet that you happen to find who likes talking about the Mets. So my opinion doesn't matter too much there. So just trying to see, we were kind of, I always like to break down the lineup and what I would kind of do. So I would still like to see something like this. You go, this is again, my ideal lineup would be here. Left field would be Nimmo. Center field would be McNeil. Right field would be Soto. And then breaking down a little bit further from there, third base is Beatty. Again, not to say that you couldn't have Mauricio sub in for him every now and then. And then I also could see there being some days where maybe you could throw Beatty in as a designated hitter if you really wanted to get Mauricio some playing time. I think Beatty could definitely pick up some of the designated hitter slack that Vientos is leaving behind. Of course, shortstop is Lindor. And then I would say second base, I'd want Acuna. And then first base would be Pete. And then you've got our catchers. And by the way, if you didn't see it last night, Francisco Alvarez had his best game in a long, long time at his first RBI in almost a month last night. And a really solid hit. It actually looked like the hit in the swing. It looked like the old Francisco Alvarez. So I just wonder if he's going back to something comfortable. And then, so I would, I fear that Jared Young's going to get lots of reps, but I would love to see DHB mostly Mauricio and Beatty switching off between DH third base. Just kind of, that's kind of my gut reaction with that. So let me know down in the comments below. What do you like doing that? So yeah, I know there's a lot of people and I struggle with it. I understand why he's going for the matchups. I understand the development side of things. But I just want to, I feel like I want to have a set starting. So anyway, that is the big news, the breaking news of the day. Vientos is out. We don't know how long, but it is likely going to be thinking closer to months as opposed to days or weeks with a hamstring injury. Once we hear more, know more, we'll do that. We will be live for the game tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. We will be covering the Dodgers-Mets game live, so look forward to seeing you guys there. Again, whether you're watching live or on replay, appreciate you. Please hit that like, hit that subscribe. And the last one out, turn out the lights. Let's go Mets, baby.